We are back. Another episode. Chef's Kiss. It's me, Peter, and John. What's up, John?
What's up, hungover chef? Heard you had a good night last night?
It wasn't a good night, no. Schwarber, Turner, Castellanos, and Harper went 1 for 17, I believe. So
Yep.
The bats were not awake. I did spend a lot of money at Xfinity Live. Had a good time, but I'm exhausted. I was telling you, man, this whole month, October, is just playoff baseball every game, 8 o'clock. You know, then the Eagles are on Thursday night.
It's
Sunday
hard on the
night,
East Coast.
Monday
It's
night.
so late, man.
It is.
West Coast watching sports is the best. I lived in LA for 2 years. It is the best.
5 o'clock games, right?
Well, dude, you can have a full slate of games, do a podcast, and then go out to dinner. Like,
Sure.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
It's so great.
I do like waking up before everyone else in the country, or like, you know, like if it's
Like getting a
6
jump
o'clock.
start. I get that.
Yeah, like you kind of like set the tone. Like I've been up, I started my day, as opposed to the West Coast, you know, or either asleep or going to bed or whatever. But yeah, it's the games, man. It's just very hard. And then, like I said, and then you add drinking on top of it, and you're just like, man, I'm fucking toast, dude.
Well, you better get your energy up because it's Game 7 tonight. Rangers wrapped up the series. Thank God they beat the Astros. I could not watch the Astros in another World Series. I'm also sick of their ballpark. It's such bullshit. Like, did you see that breaking ball Scherzer threw that was in the opposing batter box that Alvarez just flipped and hit it off the wall? Like, it's stupid. I hate that ballpark. So, good riddance, Astros. Rangers take it in 7 games. Adolis Garcia, ALCS MVP, homering twice, setting the record for most RBIs in a playoff series. But let's talk about Game 7. That's what it's all about tonight.
Yeah.
Now, I've been obviously I'm in Chicago, but I've been listening to like NBC Sports Philadelphia and a couple other places. Dude, the fan base is like doom and gloom. They think their series is over. I'm like, you have one more game. You have Suarez is really good. I like him a lot in Game
Lowest
7.
ERA in the postseason.
Yeah, but what's the deal with this Philadelphia fan base? They're like,
That's something I've realized after moving here is they are very much. And when we talked about it, remember about the Monday overreaction Monday?
Yeah.
It's gotten out of hand, and like, you know, they lose or they don't win, like, you know, they don't crush their opponents, and they're just like, yeah, they suck, man. Like, yeah, we're never going back to the Super Bowl. And it's like, dude,
they turn really quick. They started booing Kimbrel, rightly so. He hasn't pitched well in the series, but my God, do they turn quick. Chicago's not like that. You know what I mean? Like, the Bears are horrible, and people are so excited and supportive of that team, and they shouldn't be.
Yeah.
Philly's different, man. Like, every sports talk show I listen to, they're like, it's over. We're gonna lose tonight. I'm like, what are you doing? You guys have the better lineup.
Right.
Like, you guys just didn't hit.
at home, and
Yeah.
that's your best chance. Like, you have the best chance out of this.
So I have some questions for you, if that's okay.
Did you see the fans that were leaving early, by the way? That kind of
Yes.
pissed me off. I was
Yeah.
like, what the fuck? Like, you guys, this is the most dangerous, potent offense that's
I know.
explosive, and you guys are leaving? You know how much you paid for a ticket for that? And it was like, what, a 4-run deficit maybe? But it's like, dude, what are you guys doing? I thought
I know.
this was like, ooh, Red October, like, we're the best to play at home. And I saw people leaving early. I was like, that's weak, dude.
Yeah, I didn't like that, and also too, like, you're supposed to be like a really passionate fan base, like, to leave early. This is Game 6. So we predicted Game 6. It's going to a Game 7. Why are the Diamondbacks so hard to beat? Because on paper, the Phillies, it's not even a question, have better players and a better lineup.
Yeah.
Like,
Why
do you think?
Look at the games that they lost? If you look yesterday, they didn't hit, right? So I mean, like
Yeah.
you said, your hitters, Schwarber, Turner, Castellanos, and Harper, 1 for 17. You're not going to win any games with that performance, right? And from what I saw over the last couple games, John, that they did drop, the last game and then yesterday, it looks like they're really like pressing.
They're tight.
Chasing balls out of the zone.
They're tight.
Castellanos was swinging at a bunch of junk. Harper was swinging at stuff.
Schwarber missed that. People are like praising Merrill Kelly, and rightly so. He pitched really well. He did really great. Shout out to Brett Strom, the pitching coach, that came out and clearly had a game plan. Like he struck out Bohm like on the low inside 2-seamer, which was a great pitch. He was amazing, and I think the formula for beating them is I'm not going to let Harper or Schwarber beat us. But so the strikeouts to Harper were money. Like those breaking balls down and in were sick. But the one he threw to Schwarber, he missed. He hung that, and Schwarber just completely whiffed on it. So I don't think they're locked in. I think Kelly is good, but I don't think Philly hitters are locked in.
You got to move Bohm out of the 4 spot.
100%. Because tonight, okay, so the key game is tonight. Obviously, we have Fott versus Suarez. I think both are going to pitch really well. I think Fott is actually going to pitch really well. I think Philly has a home field advantage that no other Major League Baseball team has. They just do. It's huge. But they thrive on ball go far, team go far. Whoever hits the most home runs is going to win. Yeah. Okay? But there's different types of home runs, especially in that ballpark. If I'm Fott, I don't care if I give up a homer to Castellanos. I don't care if I give up a homer to Turner. I don't care if I give up a homer to Real Muto. I repeat, I am not pitching to Harper or Schwarber. It's changeups in the dirt, fastballs up way high. They're getting nothing because when they hit home runs, that place changes. It's a different thing when those two players hit. And by the way, I know analytics people will say there's no thing as clutch. Those two players are clutch. Okay, yeah. Kyle Schwarber's been in a Game 7 before and performed very well, and Harper has this, he's ready for the moment.
There's a crazy stat that says when Harper hits a home run, the Phillies are, whatever, a ridiculous amount of wins to losses.
Yep, absolutely. So if I'm Fott, I am hounding the strike zone. Castellanos, busting him in. If Real Muto beats me, I'm attacking Bohm. I'm so aggressive. But those two hitters, I don't even care if it's first time in the order. Let's say Schwarber's assuming leading off. Thompson said he's making absolutely no adjustments to the lineup. He already said that, by the way. So Bohm's not moving. Yeah. So he said that last night. You screw it. You walk Schwarber. Fine. Like I'm not letting those two guys beat me because if either of those guys hit a home run tonight, I think the Phillies win. I think if you hold those two guys homerless, if those two guys don't homer tonight, I think the Diamondbacks win. I think if one of them homers, I think Philly wins, especially if their bats get hot. But those two, nothing. I'm giving them nothing.
And that goes to your point, John. Romuto was the one who had offense yesterday. Marsh contributed to the offense, and they didn't win. You pitch to those guys.
Yep.
And like you said, the difference. It doesn't matter if those guys are producing versus the top of the order.
Absolutely. And they're talking about Ketel Marte, who is like hitting 400. But the thing with him is like you can still attack him because he's not really a home run hitter. He's going to single you to death. So what? You can live with that. What you can't live with, again, in this day and age, ball go far, team go far. The team who out-homers the other team almost always wins. But in that ballpark, in a Game 7, when Schwarber hits one, especially Harper, it shifts the game. It changes the game. Vibes are real, like especially in that ballpark. And that's not the case other places. Even so, like maybe they're not locked in. I'm giving them nothing. I don't care if they walk every time. I'm not pitching. I'm not pitching to them. There's no way.
John, do you have any superstitions about like I wore a specific hat and they won. I wore a shirt. Oh, by the way, I'm wearing my new shirt that you like.
Dude, that shirt is awesome.
It's a nice sweatshirt. Yeah.
Did you design that?
No, but I know how to. I could if I wanted to.
It's really cool.
It's by Philly Goat. It's a
There's like a Philly sports brand out here, but I saw
That's
that
awesome.
and I reached out to him. I was like,
My wife just got me this 1911 Cubs
saw that.
pullover. Oh man. It's
Do you
very-
have any superstitions about the clothes that you wear or anything like that? Because
when I'm playing or
watching,
just watching as a fan?
I take note of what I was wearing, what hat I was wearing when they win. Like yesterday, I didn't go to the game. I wore the overalls. They lost. The beginning of this year, as I wore my red Phillies hat, they won. Today, I'm doing this. I'm a little nervous. I mean, it obviously has no predication on the outcome of the game.
Yeah.
But is that anything that you do?
Yes. So so I'm a Packer fan, but also I root for the Cubs. I don't I try to be chill, even though I'm not, even though I'm a fanatic. Like obviously you and I are the huge sports fans. So let's say I'm rooting for Philly. I thought Philly would win the series. We thought they would win in 6. This tonight's going to be nuts. It's going to be crazy. I can't wait. So if I was a Philly fan, I'd be pumped all day, but I wouldn't put it on until the actual TV coverage starts. I want to keep it cool. I don't want to be promoting everything. Even a Packer game, the Packers have a noon game. I don't put my Packer stuff on until right before, or when the coverage starts. You know what I mean? Or the pregame show starts. Okay, it's it's that time, but because I don't. That's my superstition. Up until game time, then I'm all in. I'm thinking about it, and I'm watching, and I'm researching, and I'm listening to podcasts and all those other things. What about you? Do you have a certain hat?
I just keep track of the hat shirt combination and games.
Well, don't wear what you were wearing last night.
Oh, I can't. Yeah, I had the overalls on. I had a blue.
Oh, I saw that on social.
Yeah, and then I was wearing what hat? I think I was wearing my red hat. Was I wearing my no? I don't know.
I can't remember.
I was wearing. I don't remember.
You're not going down tonight, are you, to Game 7 to the stadium?
No, dude. I told you I was there yesterday, and oh yeah, I did wear my red hat yesterday. That's weird. Yeah, I was down there yesterday, and it was really cool. I didn't put anything up on social, but they have a carnival there. They had a Ferris wheel. They had a stage with a live band. They had all the radio stations there. They had food, concession, food
That's awesome.
trucks, merchandise. It was the whole street in front of the stadium was packed at 2:00, and it was so fun. It was a really cool atmosphere. Yeah. Then I went to Xfinity after. Oh, by the way, so greasing. Bouncers is still a real thing. So at Xfinity Live, if you notice, I was upstairs, right?
Yep.
So downstairs is where everybody's at. It's butts to nuts, right? And it's super hot and packed, and everyone's down there. But then there's an upstairs area, and that's usually reserved for parties or other people. So
Yep.
I was I just asked the guy, I'm how much to get up there? Can I get up there? And he's they're having a party up there. I was $50, and he's yeah, 50 bucks. And so I went and just paid $50. Then he let me upstairs. I had a table. I had
You could
plenty of room.
sit.
I could sit down.
You're showing. It's so funny. You can you weren't complaining, but you're just man, it's I'm tired. It's you're really showing your age. You're I want when I go to a restaurant, I want a nice booth.
Yeah.
I want it to be comfortable. Yeah. I don't want it to be too fucking loud. Right. Not happening, especially when you're getting your 30s, you're you know what? I'd like to sit down. Also, it's a little loud in here.
Sit down in a comfortable chair, too.
And I will pay a premium for comfort. Yeah. Real talk, dude, everything with my son, it's a lot. So, I'm absolutely exhausted at night. Dude, I'm in bed at 8:30, 9 o'clock, but it's great because I got the game on. We have a great TV, and it's it's the best seat in the house, and I'm so happy to be in bed. And I'm on my phone, and I'm on Twitter, it's just, and I'm this is great. This is
really
awesome.
Appreciate restaurants and bars. They have comfortable seating.
Yes.
I think about
and I
are
talk
we going
about
to
it.
The bar? Are we going to the bar where they have the wood seats and we got to sit
yeah,
there for 3
or
hours?
It's would you wait 20 minutes more to get a booth versus a high top table? I go fuck yeah.
Yeah.
I'm 100% waiting 20 minutes for a more comfortable seat.
Yes.
Also, I have been in restaurants where I'm like, can we get, I see that booth over there. Is that available? Because I'm like, dude, the days of fighting crowds and the days of like late night, I just can't, it's just not conducive to my lifestyle anymore. And it's so much better at my house where we have, nice flat screen TVs and I got snacks and I got the bathroom and I got
your own beer.
And I got my own drink and I can make, and it's just the best.
That's how I view football games. The best seat at a football game,
yes.
I think, is on my couch. Like I would
100%.
rather watch a football game at home.
Replays, all that other stuff. Football is 100% better.
Baseball at the stadium.
Baseball is great at the stadium. That's a different vibe. You know what's amazing live? Hockey. I'm not a huge hockey fan, but dude, if you're up against the glass and you're close,
fast,
dude, they fly. You're blown away by how good of skaters they are. Like defensemen, if they get beat and they have to like backtrack, they have to skate backwards and they catch them. It's unbelievable. Live hockey is phenomenal. I'm not even a hockey fan, but it's pretty sweet.
I'm not a hockey guy either, but my favorite thing of all sports was when I would go to the Blackhawks game and they sang the national anthem. That was I think the best sports experience.
Awesome. Also, too, but that was the heyday. Like the Hawks, in our 20s were phenomenal. But they won 3 Stanley Cups.
It's when he starts singing, "Oh, say," and everyone's like, screaming, like you can barely hear it. It's not disrespectful.
That was such a fun time. Yeah.
And it's not disrespectful, but it's like everyone's screaming, and it's like you feel it inside your chest. You're like, oh my God.
Absolutely. Yeah, that was that was in the midst of my 20s, that run when they won 3 Stanley Cups. And that was so fun. And I was living in Chicago, and I was going out to bars, Hooligans, and a couple other ones around Lincoln Park. And it was just an absolute blast. Yeah, dude. Dude, I was out late, like that. Like you went to bed at 1 a.m. Like, dude, I'd be out late, and then I come to work hungover.
I know.
Oh man, but
I would
now
always make it though. Always make it to work.
Always make it to work. It'd be fine. But now if I tried to do that now, look at you look fine.
Look at you,
dude. You look like shit. Dude, did I ever tell you? We my son has some health issues, and he was in the hospital for a bit. We were trying to figure out his diagnosis, and throughout that process, like no sleep, like I hadn't shaved, I hadn't had a haircut or whatever, and it was a very traumatic time, and I didn't I hadn't laughed in I couldn't remember how long. And we had finally got home. We're still waiting for all the results and whatever. And I go to get a haircut down the street downtown in the suburb I live in, Floyd's. And my guy, Mateo, he's this 22-year-old kid. He's really nice, but just real. Kind of shoots from the hip. He's a nice guy. Sure. And I sit, and he doesn't know any of this. And I haven't slept in 3 weeks. I literally maybe 6 hours in 3 weeks. I look like I got bags under my eyes. My hair's everywhere. I haven't shaved in a week and a half. I look like absolute shit. I sit down, and I was like, hey, man, how's it going? He goes, damn, John. He goes, you look like shit. What the fuck happened to you, man? And I was like, oh, yeah, I've had a rough one. He goes, God damn, man, what happened? And I laughed. I laughed so hard. I was like, dude. And he goes, oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to offend you. I was like, dude, no, thank you. Like, you're right. I do look like shit. That's why I'm here. That's where you come in. You help me out. But right. I laughed so hard. Because he was just like, God damn. So not saying that you look like shit, because you don't. And actually, you look pretty good considering the night that you had. But your body just can't recover like it used to. There's no way.
It's a multiple day recovery.
It's 48 hours. You need about 48 hours.
Yeah.
Like if you're in your 30s and you go hard, that's fine. But you're going to need at least 24 to 48 hour recovery time.
The first 24 to feel like absolute shit.
Yes.
And have no energy.
And then the next
to still kind of ramp up.
Yeah.
It's still like, yep, I need one more day and I'll be good.
Right. Like now, if we go out and like if I decide to like really go for it and drink, like it's gonna be on a Friday night because Saturday night, like I feel terrible and it's Sunday football and I don't want to feel terrible. And then Monday, I'm like, ugh, So like Friday night is the way to do it. Anyway, all right, let's get back to Phillies game. So, what's your prediction tonight? I have a couple ideas of what you're going to say, and then I have my feelings. So, will the Phillies win tonight, Game 7? And if so, what are the keys?
Yes. There's no way I'm going to go against the Phillies. I'm going to bet on them.
Are you as nervous as their fan base is? Because their fan base is so scared right now.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't say so. Is it disappointing that they lost yesterday? Is it disappointing that the bats that you relied on so heavily didn't show up?
And that's also baseball. Sometimes you don't hit.
And I would just say the law of averages would say tonight that comes back. They're going to score 6 runs. So I'm not worried. It's disappointing yesterday. Yes, they lost at home where they've been untouchable. And that's just a part of a 7-game series. Like they're in the postseason for a reason. But I'm not nervous. I'm confident that they will win because in a 7-game series, usually the better team comes out on top, right? And I believe this Phillies team is the better team. So
they are.
Law of averages tells me this is going to be a win. Ranger Suarez, John, did you know it has the lowest postseason ERA out of anybody with a minimum of 5 starts? Anybody at 0.92, something like that ERA. So our fate is in his hands tonight. He's what I don't want to see, John, is over managing from Rob Thompson.
Well, there's going to be a lot of bullpen. Like both managers are not going to be able to wait to bring in the bullpen, which I think last night I thought Merrill Kelly
available. Wheeler could be available.
I was listening to Foul Territory, which you've been a guest on, and Kratz was like, I thought this was crazy, but he was serious. He goes, I'm not kidding. He goes, if Carroll gets on, he goes, I bet I bet Thompson is like 1 foot on the steps, or someone's going to be warming up if Carroll gets on. I'm like, that early? Like, that's crazy. Suarez, I think he's going to be great tonight. I think Vodska also going to be good. I actually think it's going to be kind of a low-scoring game. I don't think there's going to be a ton of offense.
Well, you can't worry if Carroll gets on, if they score 1 run. I wasn't worried after those 2 home runs, those back-to-back home runs yesterday. I wasn't worried. They're going to score. You have to score runs to win. So you got to score more than 1 run to win. And the Phillies score a lot of runs. They were averaging almost 6 runs per game. So
they do.
Your bats have to be there. So I don't worry about giving up runs. I think getting up early really does make a difference. In this series, it has been. The team that has scored first and gotten up early has taken them to win in the end. So I think scoring early, getting up early when the Phillies have those first inning, second inning runs, that really does influence the rest of the game.
I agree. And I think Philly's a little down right now. I think Philly's scared. You can feel it. They thought they had this in the bag, and then the Diamondbacks win Game 6, and they're just like, oh, my God.
Well, you set yourself up for that when you say, Phillies in 4, they're going to sweep them. Like, no, you're not going to sweep them,
No, they're really good. They're really, really good. They're very well managed. They have a great pitching coach.
It's just because they're a bunch of no-name guys that people, if you don't follow baseball closely, you're like, Brandon Pfaadt? Who the hell is that? You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's like, well, he pitched pretty well in Game 3 or whatever. Yeah, I think the same thing. I think if Philly hits, Philly wins. If Philly, again, back to my original statement, if Philly homers, they can win. But it can't be, if Arizona wins, Schwarber will not hit a home run and Harper won't hit a home run. Okay? One of those guys tonight, I think if the Phillies want to win, one of those guys has to go deep. Because I think if you get 1 home run from Castellanos, you get 1 home run by Real Muto. So 1 home run Castellanos, 1 home run Real Muto. Even Turner. I don't know. They would have to hit multiple home runs. But I think it's Harper and I think it's Schwarber. And that first inning is going to be huge. And if I'm Pfaadt, I'm throwing junk, fastballs up and in. I'm giving him nothing. Chasing. and he walks. There's no way I'm letting those two guys beat me. It's not happening. You cannot let Harper or Schwarber beat you, because then you get the crowd back. Crowd isn't. Then you get, it's like Texas A&M, the 12th man. Then you get the stadium, and that's huge.
Right.
Like and that's what Arizona has. Arizona's playing with house money. They got them on the ropes. Mm-hmm. Like, don't let that crowd come back in. And it's real simple. You just don't pitch to them. You freaking walk them every time. But if either of those guys gets hot, I don't know if Arizona.
If they lose, John, I will be heartbroken. It
will be.
It would be shocking.
It would be a huge disappointment. It would. Now, I think people feel that way now. I'm like, hold on, there's another game. There's a game 7. You got a really good pitcher on the mound. You have a ton of firepower. They're not swinging the bats well, but that, again, you know as well as I do, that can change with one swing. Mm-hmm. But I think it's a huge disappointment. They are so much better than the Diamondbacks. But that's the great thing about baseball. The best team doesn't always win.
Right.
In a short series, best team doesn't always win. It's who can perform in clutch situations and who's hot right now. And Ketel Marte, their defense is good, and they're getting on base, and they're starting to run, and that's really what they do. They do really, really well. So if you're Suarez, Real Muto I think it's the quickest pop time, one of the quickest pop times out of any catcher. Mm-hmm. So he's got to be quick to the plate, especially if Thomas or Carroll get on, or Marte, because I think Lovello is going to be really aggressive, and I think he's going to run. I think he's not going to wait. I think he's going to run early, because to your point, who scores first is huge, and that sets the tone.
I think we saw that at the beginning of the series, John, when they were more conservative, when you saw Carroll on first and he didn't attempt at all. And you're like, well, I thought this team was going to run. But like you said, I think today, like you said, you have them against the ropes. You are the underdog. You're away. And you have to kind of start making some moves. That's what everyone keeps saying, all hands on deck, all hands on deck.
Thompson said Wheeler's available in the bullpen. He's like, basically everybody but Nola is available.
So what is your thought on that, John? Because I was thinking about that too. So obviously, all hands on deck, Wheeler's available. What is that? I mean, starting pitcher is very different from a relief pitcher, from a closer. Mentality is very different. So, there's some pitchers you can't bring in a dirty inning. You have to know that about them. Like, hey, if there's guys on base, he doesn't perform as well if he has a clean inning.
Agreed.
So where do you see Wheeler being the first one coming in? Do you see him the second?
It depends. It depends.
I don't see where he would fit in unless after the first one called in. Like, if Rangers getting pulled, if you're going to use Wheeler, I see him as the next guy coming in. I don't see you going to Kirkring or Alvarado and then going to Wheeler. You know what I mean? That's just how I would imagine. Do you see a situation where it's different?
So, bringing a pitcher who's a starting pitcher into relief, it depends on who it is. Because some pitchers are really creatures of habit and cannot perform outside of their normal routine. I think Craig Kimbrell's like that. I don't think he pitches well if it's not a safe situation. I think Chapman isn't good in high leverage situations unless it's a safe situation. I just think he has that mentality. I've seen it so many times. So there's certain pitchers that can do it and certain pitchers who can't. I think Wheeler is so good, and I think he's locked in, that I think he definitely can do it. I would go with Ranger as long as possible. I'd like to pitch. I don't bring Wheeler in. Is Hoffman available?
Yeah.
For like 2? I would go Hoffman, and if the game's tied or I'm down 1 run, then I'd like to go with Wheeler later. I wouldn't go with Wheeler immediately unless like Arizona's hitting the ball all like Suarez is getting bombed early. Mm-hmm. Then I maybe bring in Wheeler to come in immediately, stop the bleeding, and throw a couple zeros up there and just kind of reset. Mm-hmm. That's when I would bring him in. Again, it depends how the game is going. Mm-hmm. But ideally, I would like, and honestly, like if I'm Thompson, I don't like Kirkring right now.
Yeah.
I don't bring him in.
He's
I
a
don't.
rookie.
I don't trust him. I don't trust Kimbrel. So none of those guys are going to be
Those are on
available.
my no
To
bet
me,
list.
to me, they're not even available if I'm Thompson.
Right.
So I go Suarez. I think Suarez will pitch well. I think he'll go 5, maybe even 6. I think he's going to be that good. And I hope Thompson lets him. You know, like I think
He got pulled early.
I don't think he should be pulled early. I trust Suarez. I think he's good. I think one of the reasons the Rangers beat the Astros was you saw Bruce Bochy trust Eovaldi like to get out of jams, and he did because he's proven that he can pitch with Boston. He knows how to pitch in the postseason. Certain guys can do that. I think Suarez can. So I don't want Thompson going too early to the bullpen. I think it's
too much variance.
It's a huge
When
mistake.
you bring in 5, 6 pitchers, 7 pitchers, one of those guys, the odds of one of those guys having a bad day, that's not their day, goes way up when you're bringing in that amount of pitchers. Like that's not the formula. Like you said, I like to see the starting pitcher 5, 6. Then you can piece together, Alvarado or Hoffman,
Yes.
and then kind of close it out. And hopefully you're up enough runs to where you're not feeling I need to bring in my high leverage guy in the 6th inning because they got 2, 3, 4 up. So we have to bring Hoffman in now because that's our best chance. We need this now. You know what I mean?
And someone brought up a good point too. They're like, let's say Arizona gets a lead and they have to go to their bullpen. Well, you didn't let Kelly was shoving yesterday. You didn't let him go far. So pulling him might have been a quick hook, might have been a mistake because now Ginkel has been used. Seward has been used. So I remember listening to a podcast with Terry Francona. It was like an early podcast Kurt Schilling started. It's no longer happening. But he interviewed Francona, and it was really interesting because Francona was talking about how their game plan to beat the Cubs in the 2016 World Series. And he said, he goes, guys, like, they're probably a better team than us. He goes, but we need to get to their bullpen. Like, we need to use Chapman a lot. He goes, we might get our ass kicked one of these games. He goes, but I just think if we use their bullpen, get their bullpen in, tire them out, they don't have a lot of guys who can throw out of the pen other than Chapman. And when it was game 6, when the Cubs had it well in hand, and Madden brings in Chapman to close the game out for absolutely no reason. And then he said, it worked. He goes, it worked because Davis, he goes, Chapman was tired. He had thrown so many innings. And he threw the ball in the one spot that Rajay Davis could hit it, which was down and in. He goes, that pitch should have been up and in. And he goes, and I think we win that game. He goes, first of all, that home run needed to put us up 1. The fact that it tied, he goes that home run needed to put us up 1. He goes, but also that rain delay, he goes, they came out and they were ready to play. It was a reset for them.
They took the momentum.
They
took it.
They did.
Schwarber got on
Schwarber
base.
again,
Schwarber.
and that's my point. Like, if you're fought, you do not let Schwarber beat you. You do not let Harper. If those guys walk 6 times tonight, that's fine. I don't care if Realmuto hits a home run. I don't care if Turner hits a home run. I am attacking those guys. I'm giving those 2 hitters nothing. I'm giving them nothing.
Like what you were saying though about Kelly, and I know he got pulled early. It did work out, okay, because they did end up winning.
Yeah, but for that moment, let's see what happens tonight. Let's say Arizona blows a lead because Ginkel and Seward are tired.
Okay, but let's say you leave him in to face the lineup for the 3rd time and he gets lit up. I think that's what they were trying to save him. They were trying to not see this lineup for a 3rd time and then go to their bullpen. I think they found success doing that. Look at their bullpen game. They had their bullpen game that they won. They put together X amount of pitchers. So there might be something there with facing a Phillies lineup the 3rd time around. I know historically numbers go way up when you see a pitcher for the 3rd time. So,
actually, Nola's numbers are really interesting because as the game gets farther along, his ERA gets lower and lower every time through the order. Did you know that?
No.
Like, he's really bad in the first inning, and then the second inning, it's like a 4-point-something ERA, and then it's 3, and then it's like low 3s. Like, he gets better as the game goes on. He was not great yesterday, but so
Yeah.
we'll see, man. It should be it should be a good game. So what's your prediction? Give me the winner and then give me the score. What do you think?
I'm always going to take the Phillies.
But what's the score?
I'm not going to bet against them. Because there was no offense yesterday, I'm seeing maybe 5 runs from the Phillies today. So maybe 5-2, 5-2 game.
How do they get the runs?
5-3 game.
How do they get to 5 runs?
2 home runs.
From
if
who?
Someone hits 2 home runs. You know what? I want to, because I love him. I think he's a great player. I need to see something from Alec Boehm today. Alec Boehm hasn't done anything.
They're gonna pitch around everybody, and they're going to attack him like crazy.
Force him to be the 4-hitter.
Yeah, especially if he's hitting. If Thompson said he's not moving, then you already know. It's like we pitch around Schwarber. We'll go after Turner. Whatever. We're definitely not pitching to Harper, and then I'm just pounding. I'm literally just throwing fastballs, like right at Boehm, like middle inside, and see what he can do with it. Because he's really good when he can extend his hands. So if you get it middle in, that pitch that Kelly threw to him was absolutely perfect. That 2-seamer down and in. It's exactly where you want to pitch him. And Brett Strom, who the pitching coach, came out right before and said, "This is how I want you to attack." And he stayed away. Kelly stayed away from Harper and Schwarber.
Boehm is hitting .233 in 43 at bats, 5 RBIs, no home runs, an OPS of 629, not very good.
I think he should be moved down in the order, but Thompson's doing that thing where he's like, "I'm not panicking. We're not changing anything." You know what I mean? And I get it. And I think if you're a manager, you have to. That's showing like, "Oh, I'm not panicking." If I'm changing up the lineup, that's an
like,
indication
why did
that
you change it?
what'd you do that for? You know what I mean? What do you don't think we're good enough? Blah blah blah. So I think from a managerial standpoint and just the psychology behind it, I totally get it. But dude, he's got to be dropped.
I think Bryson Stott will have a big RBI today too, because that's another guy that
I could see that.
go at, and he's got a lot of plate discipline. He does walk. He's very good at contact. He's very fast. So I can see Bryson Stott knocking in a crucial RBI tonight. I'm not going to say Boehm to hit a home run. I do need to see some production out of him. But if I'm going to make a prediction, I'm going to say 5-2 Phillies.
Yeah.
And Stott is going to have a big RBI tonight.
You're not going to like what I'm going to say. I think the Diamondbacks win, and I think Philly's pressing, and I think Lovello has the right mentality against this team. You got to step on this team's neck, and I think they're going to if they get on base, they're going to run, and they're going to be aggressive. I think Lovello is a really good manager. I don't think he's afraid. I don't think any of these guys are afraid of the moment. I think Philly's on their heels. I'm going probably 5-1 or 6-2 Diamondbacks the other way.
So the bats don't show up tonight for the Phillies again.
If you pitch around Harper and you pitch around Schwarber, I think you win the game because you take the crowd out of it. Remember the movie Gladiator?
But you were saying if you're
win the crowd.
Right.
Don't let that crowd in it. Like, go after Turner. Fuck it. Go after Turner. Bomb. Go after these guys. Do not give Schwarber. Do not give Harper anything to hit. Nothing.
John, my favorite quote in that movie. You knew Marcus Aurelius. I didn't say I knew him. I said he touched me on the shoulder.
Shoulder once. Dude, I just watched that in 4K. It's such a great movie. It's
in 4K?
It's so good.
Yeah.
And I watched it in the basement on our big screen. Dude, it's so.
I remember watching it when I was.
That movie is unbelievable.
Knowing this was like a cinematic masterpiece.
Me too. When I saw it in the theater at like 10 or 11 or whatever, and I remember being like, "Oh, this is really good."
Cinema. That's what they call cinema.
Yeah.
Yeah. This isn't a movie.
I felt the same way when I saw Jurassic Park. I was like, "Oh, this is like I've never seen this before."
Yeah, and then when people would ask your favorite director, I'm like Ridley Scott. He's the best.
Yeah, dude, he's coming out with a 4-hour movie, Napoleon, with Joaquin Phoenix playing Napoleon. So
I saw that. It's 4 hours.
Well, the director's cut is 4 hours. I don't know if they're going to release it in 4, but it is 4. I don't know, dude.
As a society, do not have the attention span for movies, period, now, let alone a 4-hour movie. Tell me I'm wrong.
It's long. 4 hours that's long.
Dude,
that's a long movie.
Have you gone 3 hours without looking at your phone? I mean, people like.
I did in Oppenheimer, but I saw it in IMAX, and it was amazing.
You know, like when I watch movies or TV with my wife or whatever, even if you're watching a series, think about how many times you just pick up your phone to like look at it or to scroll, like unconsciously. You're like, oh, they're talking, I'm bored, and then.
Well, we have rules. So I don't know if you and your wife have rules, but we have watching rules because there's nothing more. There's nothing my wife loves more than putting on a show and then immediately grabbing her phone, which is my biggest pet peeve.
Me.
But
I
here,
want to experience this together. We're supposed 100%. To watch this together.
But we've had some ground rules. Okay, there are shows. There are certain things we can watch with our phones, and then there's shows we don't watch.
Sure.
We have to watch without our phones.
Yes.
So I'll give you an example. Any sports games, I can watch with my phone, obviously, and it's preferable. I like to follow what's going on Twitter and social media. So that's one. Reality TV shows. We're watching Great British Bake Off. I can be on my phone for that, whatever. But some reality television show. But the shows that can't are like premium HBO. So like Succession can't be on. Okay. Absolutely not. Sopranos, Narcos. We're trying to get through Narcos. Can't be on our phone. So certain shows, like premium shows, The White Lotus, whatever. No phones. We are locked in. But
because one of the worst things, John, having to explain to your partner, wait, what just happened, or what they say,
dude. I'll.
If you were
dude,
watching
I don't
it,
put
you would know.
I'll pause it. I don't play that game. I pause it. I go, give me your phone. I go, if you're not gonna, and there's times where she'll admit, she'll be like, you know what, I had a long day. I just want to be on my phone. I'm like, great. Thank you for telling me. We're going to put this on hold and I'm going to watch sports or something that I want to watch. You know what I mean? She goes, I'm fine. She goes, you can watch whatever you want. I just had a long day and I just want to be on my phone. I'm like, great. Thank you for communicating that. We're going to put this on hold because this is a premium show. And then I'm going to watch.
Give it the respect it deserves.
Yeah. I can't do it. It's one of my biggest pet peeves. And she loves pulling out her phone right as we're about to watch a show.
Does she fall asleep too? My wife falls asleep.
Oh, yeah. Dude.
And then has me, wait, what happened? And I'm like, you fell asleep literally 25 minutes into it. Not going to tell you the whole story.
Yep. And we'll wait to go to bed. We'll be like, if we're going to do another episode, we do it on the couch and then we'll go upstairs and try to do another one. But like, we know that one is like, we may have to like back that one up.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Good luck to the Phillies tonight. I think D-backs win 6-2. And I just think they got all the momentum. And I think Lovello is going to be super aggressive tonight.
Yeah. I don't appreciate all the people, like you said, that are down. I don't like that mentality where you give up, like you said. It's one game tonight. You got to win today.
The Phillies are a better team. The Phillies are a better team than the Diamondbacks. But
have to be
the better team doesn't always win.
And I want that energy. You still got to have that energy. So
yeah.
I like revisiting this stuff, John. Like when we make predictions and then come back to see if we were right or not.
Yeah, absolutely. You think so? You say Phillies 5-2. I think Diamondbacks 6-1, 5-1, 6-2. Okay, I'll go 6-2. 6-2 Diamondbacks. You say 5-2 Phillies. There's a really good chance we're both going to be wrong.
Yeah.
Probably.
I mean, I'd be happy with another 10-run game. I just don't know. Like
I think Fott's going to actually be better than a lot of people think.
I mean, he won his first time around, right?
Yeah, I think both pitchers are are actually going to pitch well.
Yeah.
But I just think the D-backs are so unafraid, and I think Lovello is managing more aggressively, and I think that's the key to beating the Phillies. I think the other key is don't let Schwarber or Harper even remotely impact that game, because one swing changes the whole game. Like I say Diamondback 6-2, but if Schwarber goes deep in the first or third inning, or Harper goes deep in the first or third inning, that prediction's shot to hell, because now it's a different game. Because now the crowd, the people that are doom and gloom, now they think, okay, oh, that's right, we do have a better team, and we do have an infinitely better roster,
Also,
and we can win this game. Yes,
hitting is
absolutely.
contagious. You see
100%.
when someone gets hot, then they get hot, and then it's just a contagious.
This is a great, one of my favorite. David Ross was doing a podcast. I'll make this story quick, but he was talking about the famous rain delay in Game 7 of the World Series in 2016, and so they have this closed door meeting with Hayward, and now they're in the dugout. Play is about to resume, and Ross sees Schwarber just like grinding his bat on the steps, just like foaming at the mouth, and he walks past Schwarber, and Schwarber looks at him, and he goes, if this motherfucker throws me a cutter in, I'm taking him deep. And then Ross goes, let's go.
Yeah.
And then I think it was Shaw or someone, and it was a cutter in. He didn't take him deep, but he ripped a base hit.
Yeah.
But he was just like, he said he was just grinding his bat like on the steps, just like ready to go. And he just looked at him and he goes, this motherfucker throws me a cutter in, I'm taking him deep. And Ross was like, let's go.
Yeah. Like Hito in Rookie of the Year.
Yeah.
The guy in the Mets, and you just saw the sawdust coming out. Yeah.
It's literally what he said. I was like, that's such a great anecdote, and totally something Schwarber would say. You know what I mean? Which, again, hello, Brett Strom, Fod, if you're listening, don't pitch to Harper, don't pitch to Schwarber, because if one swing in the bat changes that entire game. So
Yeah, I'm excited. I might need
should be awesome. I can't wait.
Might need a nap before then.
I would nap. You look a little tired.
Bro, I'm just exhausted. Yeah, I got get some work done. I was gonna record some stuff. I haven't made any like videos in a little bit, but I need yeah.
I get it, man. You need sleep.
Yeah.
It's really, really important, especially as you get older.
I think I might do the whole go sober again for a little bit, just because I'm like, I could use a reset. I think that's always like a good thing to for at least me, is to like a reset from not drinking. Other good habits follow after that usually, so I'm dabbling with it. Maybe after the World Series, or wait to the World Series after they win. I don't know.
You gonna drink tonight if the Phillies win? You probably are. No.
No. I'm gonna be watching it at home. I went out last night. Like I said, dude, I'm donezo. I'm no good. I can't muster. I'm gonna put sweatpants on. I got my sweatshirt on. I'm watching at home with my wife and baby, and my wife will probably fall asleep, and I'll watch it by myself for at least the last couple innings.
Yep. Same here, man. Yeah. All right, buddy. We'll see how it goes. We could do a recap pod, but let's just see. Let's all enjoy Game 7 tonight and see what transpires.
John, the best 2 words in sports.
Game 7. Dude. It's going to be great, man. Yeah. That crowd is going to be bananas. I bet I don't know, what is it? So it's almost 1 o'clock there? Mm-hmm. Are people like at the bars or tailgating or?
Probably not yet, just because it's an 8 o'clock game. Yesterday,
That's true.
That game at 5, people were there around 1 something.
Yeah.
12:30, 'cause I saw some stuff on like TikTok. And then I got there, and by 2 o'clock, it was bumping.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah, it's going to be rocking tonight.
Yeah.
We'll see, man. All right, brother.
All right, man. Talk to you soon. Thanks, guys, for watching.
Peace.